Morgan.
Morgan.
He's fresh, that's how I would describe him. Fresh and open-minded.
Morgan, he does his own thing.
The swaggiest.
His swag is alright.
His swag is pristine, I would say.
It's off the charts, actually.
Off the charts.
What type of question? Of course he has swag. He is the definition of swag. You look up swag in the dictionary, it's Morgan.
His swag is on the highest level. He's based.
Based. Just overall.
Morgan is like the most based individual you've ever met in your entire life.
Few words to describe Morgan. It'd probably be carefree.
Loud.
Loud. He's a big personality.
A lot of spunk.
Speaks his mind. Is very energetic.
Eccentric. He can be a little full of himself at times, but in a good way. He's
Classy.
Really classy.
Generally, just a good-looking guy. He always thinks about what he's wearing every day in school, you know?
Passionate about things that he likes.
Unique. Definitely unique.
Definitely classic, too cool for school kind of guy.
Yeah.
He says some of the weirdest stuff you'll ever hear.
A conversation with Morgan is unlike a conversation with anyone else.
He's just a fun guy to be around.
Multi-layered, I would call him. He's got depth to his personality. That was very good, Mike.
He smells good. He smells good.
Who am I? I'm Morgan Anastasi. I'm a 17-year-old junior at Amherst Regional High School. I describe myself as generally a nice person, but I tend to be brutally honest, I guess. I speak my mind. Not afraid to say what I think.
Would you like me to describe the Morgan now or Morgan back in the day?
Transformed over the years. Like going to elementary school with him and then seeing him now, he's a completely different person. And I think like he's really grown into himself.
Yeah, he's really like personal.
Come into his own.
Yeah, I feel like he's more comfortable with himself, and so he really just brought what he wanted to share with the world out.
I've definitely gotten a lot more sure of myself. I used to be more sort of shy and introverted, but I've definitely become more bold and sort of, just more confident, I guess. I've also learned to not really put much value on what people say about me or what people think about me. I just do what I think is right, and I'm sure of it. Once I decide on a course of action, that's it. I'm going to follow it, you know?
His hair was long back then.
It was like to here. And then sometimes you would get like haircuts, like kind of like mine.
Not really
kind of like his.
In 6th grade, actually got a haircut one time, but he left a single strand of like long hair down his face, and so that was his first stylish move. He got a sick haircut, I have to say.
Cut it shorter, and now he puts a lot of different styles into it. He'll comb it back, gel it, and anything, because that's just the way he rolls.
Back in the day, he wore either 3 shirts.
He always wore sweats.
Yeah, always wore sweatpants.
He really grew. He went from wearing the same like sweatpants and sweatshirt every day in middle school to wearing like a different suit.
He stuck with the briefcase though. He stuck with the briefcase.
Elementary school, he didn't talk much. He was like a nerd, kind of. Middle school, did not change at all. Hit high school, everything changed.
In high school, he's become just like this. He's got a great personality. He's become much more dynamic. It was after he started hanging out with Tom Cook.
I think Tom Cook trained him, kind of. Yeah. He brought Lil B upon him, and I think that's when Morgan really started to enjoy life, Lil B, and find himself.
It all started back in 9th grade in World Civ. I think it was the 3rd trimester, and we had a substitute teacher that day. And I showed him who the bass god was with my iPod, and he seemed to like him. So I decided, trying to be a good friend and all, I gave him a list of Lil B songs he should listen to. That was on a Friday afternoon. Next Monday, he had about every single lyric memorized in those songs.
Like I said, I think his friendship with Tom Cook has really
I think he was kind of
changed
like
him.
a cocoon in middle school, and then he met Tom Cook, and then just set him free.
And now he's a big butterfly, and he's flying across the big old meadow, and
He's baseball.
doing him.
Base butterfly.
Basically, I gave him that first little push, and he took that push and like built a positive empire out of it. His clothing though, that was all him. That was all him. I had no part in doing it.
He has his own style that no one else in the school has.
Morgan always dresses to impress. Always.
I think he has the best style out of anyone in the entire school.
He reminds me of Greek gods.
God, he's pretty fresh, I'll be honest.
Yeah,
I don't know if anyone's seen that bag he made in clothing, but that's pretty impressive.
It's probably the freshest like clothing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Like when you ask him like where he got this, he'll like give you some obscure website like, oh, like fancymen.com. It's like, I've never heard of that.
I mean, he dresses sharper than any other guy in the school.
He really just sticks out in the hallway. Like you can see him coming from a mile away, just meandering throughout the hallway. But he doesn't care. He's just it's Morgan.
I've never seen anyone dress like him. Like he dresses fancy but consistently.
Collar almost every day. That's respectable.
Morgan just revolutionizes just the everyday apparel game.
He just has so much swag in the way he dresses. Like, who else would wear white leather shoes? I mean, I didn't even know those existed.
Have you seen his like Oxfords? They're like freaking like white and black, like 50s shoes. Those are badass.
He wears what? A bunch of ties, sweater vests,
suits.
Probably like
Kinnear yellow suits.
Great patterns, stripes, plaid, everything.
Oh man. Well, for the way I dress, probably somebody like Fred Astaire, the great actor from the 1950s. He was always just completely just dapper, just completely just swagged out in all of his like suits and stuff. Was awesome.
I like it when he dresses really nicely, and then he has his orange Nike dunks on. I think those are. It's always a nice touch.
Business on the top and then just fun on the bottom. You know what I'm saying?
That just represents his philosophy on life. Like he's always just about business on the top and fun on the bottom.
But if you look
many
deep
more
enough,
ways than that.
Yeah. He appears business, but if you look deep enough and carefully, you know he's a fun guy. I think that's maybe what the Nike SBs represent.
Either that or
theoretically.
Either that or he has some sort of pet monkey that dresses
Why?
him.
Why?
Tell us about how to dress.
Yeah, the high top dunks are very classic. They have sort of a retro appeal to them, sort of an 80s appeal, but yeah, they're good. I like them. They're comfortable. And these ones, especially with the orange, they stand out. They're very bold. That's one part of my personality that I like to emphasize, just being bold and just going out there and deciding what you want to do and just doing it, you know, just being confident and forgetting what other people are judging you on it.
If you were looking at him, like initially, you would say, oh my God, he has so much swag.
Swag. Well, swag is the way you carry yourself, and swag is how you present yourself to people. For me, my swag is sort of the more sort of formal, vintage swag of maybe somebody like Fred Astaire or somebody, you know, one of the great actors, Rudolph Valentino from the 1920s. Just, you know, this very classic look. You know, that's my swag. But other people have different types of swag. Other people might have sort of a hip hop or streetwear swag. There's many different types of swag, and everybody has to just develop and identify their own type, and just sort of try to emphasize that and try to bring that out.
And not only that, but his hair is just awesome. He's like a man because he can get the whole No Shave November thing going on. He has like a legit beard. Looks like Gandalf from Lord of the Rings kind of sometimes.
The sickest beard I've ever seen.
Facial hair goes in. Beard just keeps going down.
No Shave November. He does that every month. It's fresh.
I mean, I think people should definitely put an effort into looking good, because if you don't look good, then, or if you do look good, then that'll make you feel better about yourself, and if you feel better about yourself, you'll be more confident, and if you're more confident, you'll be more successful at life, in my opinion. I think confidence is definitely very important, because confidence is the one thing that just emphasizes everything else. Confidence is like a magnifier of all of the other attributes about yourself.
I didn't know this until he got a Facebook and I was friends with him. He is an avid sports fan.
Yeah.
He writes paragraphs and paragraphs about the Celtics, Patriots, Red Sox, and I find it quite entertaining.
Oh man, his view on sports is awesome. I agree with everything that he says. His posts about all the New England sports, I love them. Read them all. I liked one the other day.
He's very New England biased.
He gets worked up over his sports.
He does.
Like, I normally consider myself like the biggest Red Sox fan in the school, but then I look at some of the posts he has and they're pretty insightful.
He's very analytical. Keeps us posted, I would say.
He has more time invested into sports than he does into politics. I remember seeing a status that was like, why are you guys all watching the debate? Go watch the baseball World Series. I was like, really?
Well, I'm definitely a big Boston Red Sox fan, a New England Patriots fan, Boston Celtics, all that, Boston Bruins. And I think that sports are really a way of expressing who you are because like every sports team has its personality. Like the Bruins are a very blue-collar, hard-working, gritty team. And so that's really sort of an expression of your personality if you support that.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not just sports too. He'll pretty much rant about anything. You know, he is very fond of his Italian blood.
Very prideful in his Italian heritage.
He's very Italian. He likes pretending he's acting like a mobster. That's interesting sometimes.
During the Euro, the 2012 Euro for soccer, he was going insane, and I don't think he's ever watched soccer before. So that was interesting.
Great, and I like how real he is about himself and how dedicated he is to his nationality.
I think that's really important to me because family is very important to me, and my family is Italian, so I like to celebrate that heritage, and I think that's really influenced me and given me like a lot of pride in who I am. And
base god, right? He responds to the base god. That's like his idol.
I think he's into base gods.
Yeah, he is.
Which is, I haven't really gotten into it, but I probably will in the next couple of months. Seems like the cool thing that they do.
Yeah.
The music really is Morgan. Right now, it is him. When you listen to Lil B, you think of Morgan.
You think of Morgan.
You know Morgan's life through the words of Lil B.
When you think of Lil B, you think of Morgan, and when you think of Morgan, you think of Lil B.
They're intertwined now.
They're intertwined.
Anyone
I
else?
remember back when I'm Gay first came out, and Morgan just really into it
all day.
And
probably, yeah. I have his autograph, and I've been to his shows. So yeah, Little B probably is my favorite artist. It was a lot of fun. It was a good time. It was down at Hampshire College at their Spring Jam last year, I think. So yeah, it was a good time. Played all the classics. Yeah, it was a good time. Oh man, just Like a Martian, just classics. Played a lot of some tracks off of his White Flame mixtape. Just real classics.
If I said if he had a bass taste, that'd be too like plain for him. It's beyond that. He has statuses about like these rock and roll artists. I have no idea who they are.
It's very unique. I don't think there's anything he doesn't listen to. I like the variety between like his Grateful Dead and his Lil B. I think that's interesting, and you won't find anything like it.
I have so many favorite artists. Like I listen to anything, Like I have just such a broad and diverse taste in music that's, from like Madonna all the way up to like, Klaus Nomi, the avant-garde artists from the 80s. Just everything,
Money and women.
It's all about peace and love.
I think he gets a lot of it from base god.
Little B has transformed him from a nerdy white kid.
He prays to bass god like every day.
Well, I would definitely say that Morgan is the most based person I know.
I don't really know what based is either.
Based. Well, being based is being positive and just living for yourself and not caring about what other people say or what other people think about you, and just being positive and saying, okay, there's a lot of negativity in the world. There will be problems, there will be strife, but throughout all of that, I know it's going to work out. Everything is going to be okay in the end, and I'm just going to keep the faith and just stay positive.
He does not care. He doesn't care.
what anyone thinks of him.
Morgan does not give a
Fudge.
fuck.
Doesn't give a fudge.
If you like me, then I'm probably chill with you, but if you don't like me, that's okay too, because haters are my motivators.
I mean, he's
The modern
honestly,
Buddha.
Yeah, he's like a textbook example of a traveler.
I try to have, an open mind. I think that tolerance is one of the watchwords of enlightenment. I try to approach things positively, with a positive attitude, and just ignore the haters and just be positive, and I just do me,
But yeah, his whole take on being positive, I love it.
At times, I think, like looking positively on life is definitely the best way to go. But at other times, he takes it a little too far. Like we were talking about crucifixion and Bible class, and he was talking about like being happy all the time.
I think that today it's very easy to just become cynical and jaded and just look at things sort of negatively and like sort of scornfully, but really this is the one life you have, and if you don't enjoy it, then that's it. You're going to be like 80 and you're going to be wishing that you had enjoyed it, so you don't get any do-overs.
He played Julius Caesar in a class play, and he was probably the best actor in the class. The scene of him stabbing his knife into his belly lasted for about 5 minutes as he dramatically fell to the ground.
Whenever Morgan studied for tests in World Civ, he would like stand up and then we would ask him a question. He's like, "Oh, knockout."
He went to the A Cruz concert and moshed with everyone, and that was pretty funny. And he went crazy. I just turned around, I saw Morgan, he was like, "Yeah, man, yeah!" And he ran into the mosh pit and started like pushing people. It was so funny.
I heard he snorted Fun Dip. That's like a real memory. I heard he snorted Fun Dip.
Homecoming, he's on his student council. He just went out there, he danced his little heart out, big heart out, and he was nice. I mean, he just went out there with all his soul and, did a great job, that's all I can say.
I'd say it was like a month ago. I had done a chem problem wrong and gave him the wrong answer. And he forgot I was in his study hall, so he started talking crap about me. And I was sitting at the same table as him. He didn't know I was there.
There was at one time I was on Facebook, and then I saw just a picture come up with Morgan and 3 women at the Tri-County Fair, and it was
True.
just with all of them, and I was like, weird. That describes Morgan's life in a nutshell.
I think everyone should have Morgan in them.
If they don't, they need to
A little
find
bit
it.
more. They need to find their Morgan.
I think we should. I think we can all learn something and take something from Morgan. And
We can learn from him, but we don't want to have a little bit of him in us.
I think we do. I think we do.
Probably the icon of this school. Like if we have a mascot, it should be Morgan.
He's just Morgan. That's all you gotta say about him.
He's just like no one else. There's literally no one in the world like him.
He's his own person.
He really is his own person. Nobody else will ever be another Morgan. Ever.
Honestly, he's just one of the coolest people there's ever been.
People had the positivity of Morgan, and just, I think just everyone would be more happy. I think the world would be just a happier place.
Just a visionary of the people.
I think that you just have to go with the flow, There will be good days, there will be bad days. I've had plenty of bad days. I've had just as many bad days as good days, but I choose to focus on the good things and not the bad things. I've had plenty of challenges in life, but I've also had plenty of gifts in life, and I've been very blessed in life, I feel. So I choose to focus on the blessings and not on the negativities and not on the problems,
So have fun with your 300 other men, cause I sure as hell ain't going through this again. First you cheat on him, then on me, see a bit of a trend. Maybe we could transcend this downtrend, maybe we could pretend you are my girlfriend, but only if you don't put up your body for rent, cause right now I resent this torment, and to be honest, I'm glad that you went.